Well, hey guys, good afternoon. It is John C. Morley here, serial entrepreneur. It's always great to be with you on the Inspirations for Your Life show. Because today is Saturday, that means that we're actually starting a brand new master topic. We'll get to that in just a minute. If this is the very first time that you're joining me here on Inspirations for Your Life, well, I'd like to extend a very, very warm welcome to you. Thank you so much for choosing to be here and to listen to the great content or to watch it and making the choice to apply it to your life daily. All right, guys. If you're coming back, of course, a big warm welcome back to you. I always appreciate those that, of course, love my content and want to keep rewatching it or listening to it because, in these nuggets, there's so much information and it's hard to digest it. And that's why it's good to keep replaying it and keep watching it until it becomes part of your nervous system. So you can view this show and other shows by visiting after the show's over, that is, at believemeachieve.com. And it's available 24 hours a day. So if you're having this urge at 1 o'clock in the morning and you want some inspiration, I'm not telling you to get up, but if you're up and you want some motivation, hey, why not listen to my show or some of my other short form or long form contents like reels, articles, etc. All right, guys, if you're thirsty, feel free to go grab yourself something, whether it's water or whether it's cake, healthy or not. I'm not going to judge. It's totally up to you. And let's kick this show off. All right. So by now, this is the Inspirations for Your Life. It is the daily motivational show. And I think you guys are really going to appreciate it. This is series 5. Show 4, episode number 1. And I am so glad to be here. I'm your host. I'm John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. And again, welcome back to Inspirations for Your Life, the daily motivational show, where growth is intentional, confidence is reclaimed, and success is built from the inside out. Being your host, I'm happy to be here. As I said, a serial entrepreneur. I'm also an engineer, a marketing specialist, video producer, podcast host, coach, graduate student, and yes, guys, a passionate, lifelong learner. And it is a privilege and a pleasure to really believe with all of you. This show exists to remind you of who you are when the noise quiets down. Today, we begin a new chapter titled From Stuck to Unstoppable, your glow up era. This episode, you're not an accident, guys. It's a reminder to everyone, regardless of your age, that nothing about you, your ambition, your resilience, your curiosity happened by mistake. It didn't. You were built for more than survival. I know a lot of us talk about two things in life. One is calling survive and thrive, but few people thrive in life. I think it's because they get comfortable being complacent and just being the way they are. So when you're too comfortable, you never grow. So I always said comfort lies just outside. The success, I should say, lies just outside the comfort zone. So you were built to rise. Yes. Number one, guys, our first point, you were not born, guys, to pay bills and be exhausted every day. I know that happens. It's a part of life, but you weren't born for that. You were born to be abundant. You were born to just be able to pay things, to help people, and to enjoy this high quality of life. You see, life, ladies and gentlemen, is meant to be lived with purpose, not constant depletion. But I think that's what a lot of us are taught. Maybe it's our parents' upbringing. Maybe they had challenges, and maybe they didn't handle things the most, let's say, pristine way. No one's perfect, but I'm here to tell you that life has so much you can get out. So let's start embracing it. Number 2, guys, someone out there is praying for the courage you already have right now. What you see as normal is inspiring to others. And it's great. I know when I do my talks and I get people in the audience, and some people come to me privately and say, hey, John, you really inspired me to take a step. I mean, I'm not going to speak like you do, but you've inspired me to at least get up in front of my class, or maybe at least get up in front of my office and tell them what's on my mind. I'm happy to be able to do that. Number 3, guys, your personality is not random. It is your built in strategy. You're not too much. You're just in rooms that dream too small. That's a truth, guys. Number five, you keep shrinking to fit spaces you outgrew years ago. Let's stop doing that. Number six, you are not a side character in your own life. I know sometimes we feel like this because whatever's going on, we like miss life. We miss these things and we miss the fact that life is meant to be lived and about thriving. It's not about hiding. Because a lot of people are like, oh, I can't get what I want and I'm just going to hide. No, don't do that. And when you do that, it actually lessens you as a person. At least that's how you feel. You're not a lesser person, but it makes you feel lesser because you feel like this isn't meant for you, right? Maybe you've gone somewhere and maybe they had seats and you want to sit there. And the sign said that, these are reserved. And maybe some, let's say, pompous person says, these are reserved for, VIPs. So what are you? Well, maybe you're not a VIP at that show, but you absolutely are a very important person in your life. And maybe you're going to sit in those chairs another day, or you're going to sit in chairs even better than those chairs. Number seven, guys, you are allowed to want a bigger life without guilt. Yes, I said that. Number eight, you were not designed to live on autopilot. Now, certain things are good to be on autopilot, like, knowing you have to do your exercises and things like that. That's good. But your entire life should not be on autopilot. Maybe 10%, maybe you've got things that remind you to do certain tasks, but your whole life should not be on autopilot. As I said, maybe you go home a certain way. Take a different way. Instead of taking a right, take a left and take a scenic tour. You never know what you'll embark on. I think a lot of people in our world, they get used to doing the same thing over and over again. You know what happens? Again, they get complacent and they feel that there's nothing new for them. There's nothing for them really to do. Okay? That's the truth, guys. And it's not here to scare you. It's here to hopefully wake you up and say, you know what? You were meant for bigger and greater things. Yes, you were. But the fact that you haven't come to that realization yet is really the only thing that's holding you back. So it's like this filter, right? If we had a filter, which we do, we could put on the camera to prism things so we can see things kind of like in prisms, so we can kind of see people in just different kind of angles. It's kind of fun if you ever see how prisms work. It kind of will, get you to, maybe be in an array. And it even has a rainbow effect to it. But if we never change the prism or we never change the lens in our life, and we're still looking at it in, I don't know, black and white, if we never change the lens and turned on color, how can we get excited about our life? We can't. We need the perception in our life. And perceptions are not limited to just what you feel today. Perceptions can grow tomorrow. Number 9, guys, you're not behind. You're on your own timeline. I've had to tell myself that sometimes too, because, sometimes you see someone like, oh, gee, look where they are. That's okay. We all have our own timeline, and everything that we're meant to have will be delivered in our life. Are you ready for number 10? I know you are. If your dreams, ladies and gentlemen, scare you, guess what? That's a sign you're growing. Number 11, your overthinking is unused creativity. Looking for direction is important. Knowing the way is good, but maybe you can learn a different way to go, a different way to traverse in the universe. I think that's a very cool thing. Number 12, guys, the world benefits when you stop pretending. That's right, guys. I said when you stop pretending. When you stop pretending to get permission from yourself, because you don't need permission from yourself. It's you. Number 14, you're not lost. You're under construction. Have you ever gone to a website? I know maybe many of you have. I know the very first time I worked on our website many, many years ago, and the very first time, and I remember it was just one page. I remember it was just all CGI, And I remember when I was first getting it up, I put this page up that says under construction. And so your life might be under construction right now. That's okay. It's building something even better than you probably imagined. In fact, what you want is probably just 1/10 of what could happen to you. Are you ready for number 15? I know we get stuck. I know when we get stuck, we feel that we're never going to be able to move through. Like maybe you're stuck in a snowstorm. Like if you don't have four-wheel drive and you're trying to get out, and all of a sudden, oh, like the tire just spins, right? Or maybe you're outside and maybe you're doing something. And because suddenly you lost a screw or a screw didn't come in the box, you're stuck and you can't finish the project. So you have to figure out, well, what do you do? So I'm here to take you, Lejeune, from stuck to unstuck. It's not an overnight process. It's a gradual process that slowly starts to percolate, very similar to the way coffee does. I remember the very first time my grandparents told me, they always have to have their coffee in the morning. And I said, well, that's pretty cool that they'd have their coffee in the morning. And my grandfather on my dad's side, would have his coffee in the morning. He never would drink any coffee at all, but only at breakfast time. And my grandmother would make the coffee in a coffee pot because they would never be caught, using an instant coffee maker or using instant coffee, right? Never. Number 15, your future self is already proud of you. Why are you putting yourself down? Why are you dissing yourself? You're so important, guys. Number 16, you're not complicated. You're layered. So I want to think about this in a very interesting way. Layered. When somebody first learns graphic design, and maybe some of you are graphic designers, maybe some of you aren't. Graphic design can be very tedious because you've got all these different pieces and they all got to come out a different way, but you can't seem to move them until you realize one thing. In graphics, things are on layers. And so once you learn what layer is which and how to traverse and move through and how to move things up a layer or down a layer, well, life seems a lot easier. It does. Number 17, please stop asking people who settled if your dreams are too big. People that haven't gotten anything, people that have given up because they haven't reached their dream is them. That's not you. You're here. You want to get motivated. You want the food to be able to help you and not only the spiritual, but also the mental food, the mental diet to take you from stuck to unstoppable. I'm going to recall back to a story I've said before about a dog. So this dog was over a friend of mine's house many years ago. And the dog actually did something pretty cool. You know what that was? The dog actually opened the door. And I said, geez, what a smart dog. And my friend Joe's like, well, you wouldn't think he was such a smart dog if you were here a week or two ago. I said, why? The dog was clawing at the door for hours. The dog was learning. Yeah. So sometimes when we do something and it looks like it's a mess, or it looks like we don't know what we're doing, we're learning. And there's no crime in learning, guys. Because when we learn, we become smarter. We become wiser. We become more creative. We get unstuck. Number 18, guys. Before I go on number 18, I want to tell you something interesting. So even AI uses that same logic. AI learns by its mistakes and gets better. Number 18, you were built for progress. not perfection. Number 19, there is a stronger version of you waiting to show up, to bust out of an egg. Or maybe you're just scared of it. A lot of times when we're scared, it's actually confused with an emotion called excitement. And because we're not used to it, we think we're scared, but really we're just excited. And it throws us off guard. Number 20, guys. Your story has chapters. It does. Just like the book I'm reading, guys. My story has chapters. My book has chapters that you haven't even imagined yet. So if every day you have the power to write your story, to change your story, that's powerful. That's priceless. But some people don't choose to write their story because, well, they haven't had much luck at it. But if you're like that dog who just kept persisting and, going on and keeping on, or like maybe the train, you remember the story I told you guys a long time ago? It was the train. I think I can. I think I can. Do you remember that story? I think I shared it with you guys before. So it refers to the classic children's story, The Little Engine That Could, where a small blue engine chugs up a mountain repeating the mantra, I think I can, I think I can, I think I can, to overcome a difficult task, teaching lessons in perseverance and optimism. The phrase signifies believing in yourself to achieve something challenging, often changing to I thought I could after succeeding. So if you're on that, let's say, edge between wondering if you can or can't, think about Henry Ford, what he said. If you believe you can't, you're right. But he also said something else. If you believe you can, you are also right. So change I think I can right after to I thought I could. Right? That's powerful, guys. I thought I could. I think I can. I think I can. I think I can. I think I can. When all the circumstances outside of you can physically see, hear, touch, taste, point to, I can't. Change your perception, change your direction, and focus on the positivity of I can. Because the more you focus on I can, the more that noise, because that's all it is, that noise will just kind of quiet itself down. You'll be able to get true clarity and move forward and become unstuck. Number 21, guys, you're here to break patterns. You're not here to blend in. I know many times when I was in school, I was always told, John, you need to blend in. And it was because they were stifling our voice. And I didn't let that go very long because I knew that I was not here to blend in. I was here to make a difference, to use my unique skills and gifts to become something amazing. Number 22, guys. If you feel different, use that to your advantage. Don't let people block you because they say, oh, you're different. You're, not in the same boat. But, sometimes not being in the same boat is actually the predicament that can get us to become, let me say, amazing. I'm going to tell you, amazing. I'm going to tell you amazing right now. That's really powerful. Really powerful. Number 23. You're not stuck. You're just on pause, waiting to make a decision, or like I'd say, a decision point. Sometimes when we have to make the decision, we feel like we're stuck because we don't want to move this way or move that way. We're on the top of the fence and we don't know whether the grass is greener on the left or the right. So we're afraid to decide. So we're indecisive And thus, you know what else happens? We procrastinate. And procrastination equals us becoming more stuck. Now, you don't need to master everything and be a moving train overnight, but you need to get rid of different obstacles that are in your way, because when you do, the rest of you gets the belief and the courage that you can do even more. Number 24, your energy is expansive. Protect it. Okay? Protect your energy. Protect who's around you. Don't let your energy just drain out. Your energy is priceless, guys. Number 25, you're allowed to outgrow old versions of yourself. Absolutely, you are. Maybe something you're doing today doesn't match what was going on yesterday. Maybe. Or maybe it does. Or maybe there's a subtle tweak that you need to make. When we hear about, different animals that outgrow their skin, like turtles, for example, right? Their shells. Think about that for a moment. What happens after a turtle outgrows its shell? What happens? Does anybody know? What happens? So it's not like a hermit crab. It's a little different. Its shell grows with it. So it's fused to its spine and its ribs. So it's always the right size. But the outer layer, called the scutes, the sheds its sections as the turtle grows to stay healthy, revealing larger new scutes underneath, a process called scute shedding. So what happens after let's say a hermit crab, because that's a little bit different. What happens after a hermit crab outgrows its shell? So when a hermit crab outgrows its shell, it must find a new one for protection, usually by shedding its old exoskeleton, molting, or by finding an empty shell, sometimes joining a vacancy chain, where crabs line up to swap shells from smallest to largest to ensure everyone gets a better fit. Being without a shell makes them extremely vulnerable to dying out and predators hitting them. So they seek a new home quickly, often after molting, by testing different shells for size and weight. Kind of like we try on different clothes for comfort and style and look, right? So again, hermit crabs grow by shedding their hard outer skin, their exoskeleton, a process called molting. And they need a larger shell to accommodate their new size, shell scouting. Before or after a molt, a crab will leave its old shell to find a new, bigger one. And then the vacancy chain. If a crab finds a shell that's too big, it may wait nearby, leading to a chain reaction where other crabs test shells, moving in a line from a smallest to largest, ensuring each crab gets a better fitting home. The move to new shell is swift and planned, because shellless leaves them exposed and can cause problems and even cause them to die. Why they need new shells? Protection. Their abdomen is soft and fragile, requiring a shell for defense. Growth. They simply get too big for their current home and they have to move on. Comfort. They might find a shell that fits better. It's lighter and offers more protection than what they had. So just like animals outgrow their shells, we can outgrow not so much our bodies, but we can outgrow our egos. We can outgrow our limitations. This reminds me of a great story of it was actually an elephant, a very big elephant today. But many years ago, it was a very little elephant. And the little elephant, baby elephant, was tied to a stake in the ground. And the elephant tried to get out from the stake, and he couldn't. He tried the first year, the second year, the third year. He couldn't get out from the stake. You know what happened after the third year? He never tried again. The elephant got bigger, and the elephant could have easily broken out of the stake. But because of the mental programming the elephant got by believing it couldn't break through, never tried again. I think that happens to us in life because we try something now and maybe we're not successful. That doesn't mean we can't go back and retry again. It also doesn't mean we're giving up. It means we're taking a pause. Maybe we don't have the skills that we need. Maybe we don't have the strength that we need or the knowledge that we need. But we can acquire any of those things. Number 26, guys. You didn't come this far to act small. Okay? Your life is not a glitch. It's on purpose. Yeah, it's on purpose. You didn't get here by accident, guys. Number 28, you're allowed to want more. Even if your past self can't relate to it, you can have it. Number 29, guys, the fact that you're still here means there's still more for you. Now, it might not come tomorrow. It might not come this week. It might not come next week, but it's going to come. And the question is, will you be ready for it? Are you focusing on success? Are you focusing on these opportunities? Because if you don't, and they come, you're never going to see them. You'll be blind to them, and you'll miss the potential to grow and to succeed. Number 30, guys, this is not your final form. This is your loading screen, right? Your loading screen. The operating system has a boot process, okay? And so I call something called post power on self-test. You're just going through your check process to get ready to load something bigger. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Inspirations for Your Life. This is the daily motivational show. And I show you guys here that you could be done settling and ready to rise. And if you truly are, I encourage you to keep watching day in and day out. I'm John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur, and I'm reminding you that you are not an accident. You are not behind, and you are not done. Your glow up era starts now. Are you ready to embrace it? You can check out more by visiting believemeachieve.com for more of my, of course, amazing, inspiring creations. You're not stuck, and you're going to be unstoppable really soon. The choice is up to you. Are you ready for greatness? Have yourself a good one, and I'll catch you real soon, everyone.